So I was sitting down with my team, with Jacob suffering an injury, he was out, and a few of my other teammates have retired or gone different on different paths. We were just lacking in bodies. So I sat down with my coaches and whatnot, and we were kind of hashing out what the plan would be moving forward. And we were like, we could bring guys here, we could do this, we could do that, and then we started looking at global, like where we could go to do like little stints or put some training together. And honestly, I'm fortunate enough that we have good friends or good relations with just about everybody. So we could have gone everywhere. The States was a potential, but then like a flash of lightning, we remembered city kickboxing, New Zealand's 2.5 hours away. It makes perfect sense just to go over there. They have the bodies. Izzy's there, Carlos is there, Hook is there. Like they have high level guys. And, I think we could stand to benefit a lot from making that relationship and heading over. And let's be honest, like me and Izzy, we had our rivalry, we had our time, but there's a lot of young blood now in the division. There's a lot of guys coming up. The chances of us crossing paths again it was super low to begin with, So yeah, that's kind of where our headspace was. My coach reached out to Eugene, said, "Hey, we're thinking about bringing some boys over. Let's chat. Let's see how we get along." Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like I stopped having any sort of emotions over our rivalry years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You put that behind you. Yeah, they were super receptive.
Amazing.
Eugene was great to work with, and because I think everybody's on the same page. Like I said, there's a lot of blood in the division. There's a lot of other people in the world to fight. We're two guys. And they were super receptive. They had the very same mentality as I had as well, which is like if we eat together, we fight together, and that's how I don't muck around like that either. So when we reached out, they were very receptive to us. We went over. They're all very welcoming. Everybody there was very welcoming. My family was super stoked that I was over there, and I was. I was gonna be doing some training there, so it was good for everybody.
Can I ask what those like initial moments were like when you first walked in? Like, are you feeling a little bit nervous? Like, okay, how's this gonna go? How am I gonna be received? What's that first interaction going to be like? What were you feeling at that time?
I guess apprehensive is the word. I wasn't nervous, but I didn't know how things were going to be. I didn't know if the first session we were going to line up, if they'd have a crew of 20 guys ready to spar me, ready to fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it was nothing like that. I just slot in to their sessions, moving around, helping Izzy as much as I could in any way he wanted. I was moving with the other boys. We were just training, and it felt really natural and organic. Nothing was kind of forced. And Izzy himself, he was probably the most receptive of everybody there. I think, he was really open to the idea. I think I think we're just both in good places in our career right now. I was walking into his house, and I sat on his couch. He was asking me if I wanted anything to eat. I was like, oh man, where am I right now? How did we get here? Because it was surreal to finally sit there, especially like we had because Australia and New Zealand, like it's us versus everybody else. But when it gets down to it, we kind of like being rivals as well, But and that kind of rivalry just, I don't know, set the stage for a long leg between me and Izzy. So it was good to finally hash that out. I wouldn't say it was personal, but I'm pretty sure in 2019, if I could have hit him with my car, I would have. I just like, knock, like a little bump, what I mean? Yeah. It was. There was no love lost there.
Wow.
Like not back then. Honestly, more importantly than the training was do we get along? Like, will this work? Are people like? Can everybody bury the hatchet, and can we get to this idea and get the training that we need to get done? And honestly, everyone was so receptive. We have heaps of skill sets that they can benefit from, and vice versa. They have lots of bodies because they're a bigger MMA dedicated gym. So it was just, I think we both stand to gain a lot from this relationship, and I'm very super happy to to have made the connection. I can work on skill sets here. I do look to head over to New Zealand and talk to Eugene and those guys and do stints. I'm not sure how we're going to structure that out yet. I'll speak to my coach and organize what the training here looks like. But definitely going back there to do some work with the bodies and Izzy and everybody else there. The first leg, we were kind of just filling the air. I was just slotting into their sessions. I wasn't kind of doing any specific work for any specific agenda. But I'm sure moving forward, my coach and Eugene will sit down and they'll chat and they'll work out what's needed for any upcoming opponents that I'm going to be facing, and we'll work something out.
Okay. Well, by the way, what kind of like surprised you most about Izzy on a personal? Now that you got to hang out with him and be in the gym, be in his home, was there something about him that surprised you?
Maybe his jiu-jitsu. Like, I think it's much better than people give him credit for. You know. Interesting. So I'm looking forward to see how that translates into his next fight. Like I don't know how he's kept it on the down low so long, but yeah, much better than everybody gives him credit for. Okay. No, he's got his team, I got mine, and we were still creating that relationship. Like we're friends now, so I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. If
for some reason the stars align and they want you're not fighting him now, right? Is that it? We're done?
No, I don't fight people I eat with.
Yeah.
It's just how I am.
Okay.
Then there's, like I said, there's lots of people to fight. He doesn't have the belt right now. There's lots of people to fight. So much young blood right now coming up, and yeah, the division's so volatile, so fluid right now. It's yeah.
This might be a tough question to answer because he's now your best mate. But how do you feel about the fight against Imavov? How do you see it playing out for him?
Yeah, well, and like I said, I'm very biased with all my picks, predictions, and breakdowns as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, he's a hard dude to bet against. Period. His striking, his space control is just really next level. I thought he looked really good in that Dricus fight as well. Maybe one of the better versions of himself. You know, Dricus is a very hard guy to fight, and I think it shows more how good Dricus is rather than what Izzy did wrong. I think Imavov's got a really hard fight on his hands just because every fight starts standing. Izzy's probably one of the better strikers out there in the world right now, and his space control, his length, and you know his ability to counter and just make you pay for any sort of inch you take is a real threat.